Welcome back, everybody, to more Final Fantasy VI. So last time we got to the continent of Vector, where the Empire is originated, and we also checked out a bunch of the towns around it, namely Tizen, Miranda, and crap, I can't remember the other one, but we checked them out. We got some weapons, we got some items, so it was a nice little upgrade. But now it's time for us to go to the Imperial capital of Vector. And of course, we're going to do it via Chocobo because, well, I don't want to waste any time. Oh, actually, no. Before we go to Vector, I forgot about this part. So, there is actually another town that we can look into, and it's easier to get there by Chocobo because it's kind of at the northern tip of the continent. Oh, I may have missed it. Oh, no, wait, never mind. Okay, we're going still. But yes, you can access this as the northern tip. I think it's the third one. Albrook. So Albrook, Miranda, and Tizen are all towns on the continent of Vector. And of course, the Imperial capital is called Vector. Because you guys didn't know that. I don't know. Here's Tizen. So this is the one that we needed to find. And of course, we see even more wreckage because of the Empire's occupation of Tizen. And even their forced drafting of men into the village. You see very few men in the village. That's one of the things that I actually forgot to mention last week, is you see very little men. You see women and children in most of these villages. There are occasionally men, like old men, but if they are like the normal male model, they're probably a shopkeep. That's because the rest are being forcefully drafted, and they're soldiers. Alright, the weapon shop. So see, there you go, another old man. We're just going to check out his inventory. He doesn't really have a whole lot. But it's good to check out these towns just in case, because there are a lot of newer RPG players that don't keep up with equipping the best items for their characters, and this is one of those games where it will slowly punish you for that. So you want to be able to keep up with it. Thankfully, though, right next to this one, another Chocobo stable. So we can make our way to the Imperial capital of Vector. Yeah, 100 gold pieces, I don't care. I'm gonna grind this out anyway. Because that's what this game's gonna make me do. Plus, as soon as you get an airship, Chocobos are irrelevant. You already have what you need. And I love the people that came out and corrected me as like, you were seeing mode 7 with Chocobos. Yes, that was my bad. You do see mode 7 with Chocobos. I just love the fact that the airship is mode 7, and it's one of those other games that has to showcase that we can use mode 7 on the Super Nintendo. Alright, so this is the Imperial capital of Vector. Now we actually have to kind of watch our backs here. Nobody's trustworthy. Magitek Research Facility, no entry. Well, we figured out where we need to go now, haven't we? So we talked to this person. Shh, I'm a returner sympathizer. I've heard of you. Will I distract the soldiers, climb onto the steel tower from this box, and enter the facility? Okay. Already? Yes. And get ready for the worst acting imaginable. Like, we all thought Locke at the opera scene was bad? No, look at this. I'm gonna be sick. Well, get out of here. I said get out of here. And so now we can go here. Gonna toss it all. Hey. Yeah, toss it over, man. Toss it over. So I hope everybody has had a wonderful week, especially with all of the content that is coming out on the channel and all that stuff, as well as just having a great summer. Me personally, I had a great week up until this morning, which is when I'm recording this. And now my neck and my back are kind of sore just from the events of last night. We actually went to a family reunion so that we could take my daughter there and have her kind of shown off for everybody. But then we got into the pool, and for some reason, now my neck and back just feel all jacked today. It's one of those things that you have to get used to when you're getting old. Is that things start feeling more sore than they used to be. And of course, you guys may not have noticed, but we actually walked into the Magitek Research Facility. So, we are fulfilling the goal that Ramu has set before us to go to the Magitek Research Facility and free his brethren. Now we're here, we can actually fulfill this. And of course, one of my favorite tracks of Final Fantasy VII is, or wow, did I say 7? Final Fantasy VI is actually this one. I like the kind of the, it really works for me. In fact, so much so that if you guys notice in the Pokemon Blue recordings for Drak and Shadow, I actually utilized that for one of the grinding moments. Which a lot of people actually gave me crap for. I should have had a more stable music to go to, and I think when we get to the next generation, that probably will happen, because at that point I'm gonna step up to the plate again. Ooh, Tech Laser, and Edgar's down. Yes, this place is stinking hard, and if you are not prepared for it, it will kick the crap out of you. Now, I walked in kind of unprepared. I'm at level, but unfortunately I wanted to walk in with a little bit more magic than I have. That just didn't happen. Especially since I was a dingus and actually left one of my espers on Gaw. So Gaw has one of my espers, so there you go. Not enough magic to work with. That, and starting off with 4 espers, and most of the stuff that you get is like status-induced magic. Not really all that worth it. Alright, so let's just go ahead and get a solid cure on everybody. So again, I hope everybody is having a good summer and a good last week. This week is going to be particularly busy because we've got another game releasing this week! And people are still asking me, where are the reviews? They are coming. So I've actually kind of kept this to myself. I've been working my butt off to get the remaining reviews out in a consistent manner, and so I've been kind of overhauling all of the games that are overdue. So you guys can expect reviews in, I'm hoping by next week. I need to record a few more of them before I start releasing them kind of on a regular basis. But you got quite a number of reviews coming your way, I promise you that. So that is happening, and I also know that the people have been asking where are new episodes on the Podomatic feed for the Geek News podcast. There's a reason behind it. I do have recent episodes edited and ready to go, but I'm having some issues with Podomatic. So I'm trying to get those issues resolved before we put more episodes up on there. And I have no problem admitting I'm probably also in the market for another place, because Podomatic has been kind of frustrating to work with. And I want to be able to put up more episodes of the podcast than Podomatic is technically allowing me to do. So with that said, I'm sure Podomatic are great people, but we've been having some issues. And I promise at some point you'll get the most recent episodes up on the Podomatic feed. But that's going to take a little bit of time while I resolve the other issues. Thankfully, though, you have the YouTube archive to be able to go to. So you guys can enjoy all of the wonderful things that we were talking about. And also, just a quick plug, so I was actually able to go on to another quote podcast over the weekend. So if you guys look up Anime Atlas, I believe, it was a random hangout. And I just got brought in to discuss random things like Gundam and anime and Ghostbusters 2016 and all of that fun stuff. So you guys can look forward to that. And also, I would encourage you to check out and I'll probably link it somewhere on the channel, but me and Stephen Romney of the podcast also got together last week to review Ghostbusters 2016. And so we did 2 videos. We did a spoiler-free video, and we also did a spoiler discussion. So at that point, you guys can go and watch that and tell me how much of a sexist I am, because, well, I didn't like Ghostbusters that much. On its own, it's fine. But if I were to compare it to the originals, well, I like the originals better. That's all I'm leaving it at, so people don't get on my case. Go watch the reviews. If you want to know what I actually thought about the matter, then you can watch those 2 videos. And of course, I'm trying to figure out this stupid hook. Okay, there we go. And further on we go! Whee! That's another reason I like this dungeon, is it's filled with tech. So at that point, it just... In some cases, you don't know where a potential path is, because you have to kind of wheel your way through this factory to be able to figure out where it is you're supposed to end up going. You know what? We're not even going to do that. Oh, no! We now have enemies that will kill themselves. Urgh. Go all kamikaze to take us out. Oh, I hate that launcher ability. I really do. And that's why we're chainsawing you, to kill you. Because that sucks. Yay, victory! I'm sorry if I'm being quiet here. I'm actually trying to figure out, is there any other business I need to take care of? WoW videos are going to continue to go on. Legion beta videos almost done. I'm like down to my last, as of this recording, like last 10 artifacts to record. So we're going to get those to you. I'm getting a little concerned now because the Legion beta might be coming to a close. They're already starting to introduce a lot of the major factors of the beta into live. So all of the character class changes and getting things ready for Legion. So I'm going to get out as many as I can, but I am down to like my last 10 artifacts to record. So you guys will be good. And in fact, most recently this week, we've had, what, Demonology Warlock, Blood Death Knight, and Discipline Priest, as of right now, that have released. So you guys can check those out. And we've got many, many more in store. Also, with the Gaming with the Geeks, yeah, I think I'm going to set those uploads strictly to the weekend, because at that point, you guys can enjoy them part by part, and, yes, I know I said where I'm just going to pump them out. I do want to keep at least a few while I'm working on new episodes. So I was able to put out 3 episodes last weekend. There will be another 3 episodes that go up this weekend. So you guys will be able to enjoy that. And we're actually getting ready to start up the next bit of Gaming with the Geeks, this time with Romney. So you guys can enjoy that fairly soon. And also, so to the Drak Plays people who really like when I do live playing of games, or in this case, not so live, not live streaming them, but playing those games. I'm actually adding a new aspect this week. It should be out by now, and that is Drak Tries. So, since I'm not getting the reviews out as quickly as people would like, I thought this might be an interesting way to be able to tide people over, to give you kind of a first impressions video. And I'm actually starting that up with the most recent release, Song of the Deep, for PS4. And you guys can enjoy that. I think it would have come out yesterday by now. So you guys can look into that. It's basically it's made by Insomniac Games, people who make Ratchet & Clank, Sunset Overdrive, Spyro the Dragon at one point or another. And they are making a Metroidvania game completely based underwater in a submarine. So you guys can enjoy that. I fairly enjoyed it. I've played a little bit more since then. Like I said, I'm trying to overhaul all the missing reviews so that I can fill in the gaps. So I've been able to play a little bit more since then, and I'm still enjoying it. So you guys can look forward to that. And I think that's pretty much all. Like, I'm trying to think in my head. Yeah, I think that's all the business that I have. Thank you! That's all the business that I have to cover. Now we can talk strictly about Final Fantasy. Oh, wait, games I've tried. None. I have not been able to get back to any of the games that I was working on since I'm working so hard on the reviews, since I'm working so hard on the podcast, and all of the summer events that are going on. I'm not saying that they're going away. They're not. I'm still working on games like Mass Effect 3. I need to get through this first before I get back into those. Be able to give you some more of my take on them. Ooh, and a Thunderblade. Thunderblade! And going deeper into the Magitek Research Facility. People can't see this. I don't know why I'm telling you guys, but I'm sitting here dancing to the music. It's awesome. Love this music. Oh look, this is gonna be an easy fight, hopefully. Oh, and I actually did get some interesting questions. Maybe we'll go into those really quick. Somebody actually did ask me if I was going to do a World of Final Fantasy playthrough since I was so excited about it and add it to kind of the Final Fantasy videos. I had thought about it, but I'm not against the idea. And also, am I going to add any other JRPGs into the mix, maybe in between Final Fantasy games? I hadn't thought about that, but that might be helpful for me to be able to do that. The only problem is that I like to pre-play the games to figure out where the grinding breaks are, so that I can do things like post-commentary, so I can talk about the game with you guys instead of being super, super quiet while I am playing, because that's the thing. If I played these things live, like, say, my buddy Brinton is with Final Fantasy VII, I'd be dead quiet because I'd be dead focused on what I am doing at that given moment. Now, people might have noticed a little bit of a magic cut there. So, funny story. When I recorded that part, and trust me, there was only a chest with a gold shield in there, so you didn't miss much. But when I recorded that, I was actually tending my my daughter. And my daughter is at that point in her life where she likes dangling cords. And decided to pull on the cord just hard enough to knock my Hapag, my recording device, down to the floor. Which in turn effed up the end of the recording, so I had to start up again. And that's why I'm saying you didn't miss much. Because thankfully it was only like 2 minutes, maybe, that was effed up. Like, I had getting the gold shield and an encounter. And that was pretty much it. So that's why I magic cut there, because, well, I can't bring that video to you guys as much as I would like to. And yes, lesson has been learned. Baby girl is no longer anywhere near the cords if she is in there recording with me. Like, wait, he records with his baby? Yes, I do. I do, because a lot of the stuff that I do is video only, especially like for review footage. Yeah, I bring her in. And I let her take a look at the game. In fact, sometimes she's kind of a good litmus. If the game is pretty enough, then she's going to be one of the few that's going to point it out. She'll be like, yee! And I always love it. Oh, my baby girl is becoming a very, very much a gamer. I'm happy about this. In case you couldn't tell. That's actually another question I get a lot. When are we actually going to see the baby on the stream? You actually have... but that video doesn't exist anymore. So when I did the BlizzCon opening ceremony, I actually had her on camera for a little bit. So she was there, but she was only a couple of months old at that point. Am I going to do it recently? I don't know about it. I'm more worried that it'll freak her out. So I'm kind of going at her pace at that point. Maybe if I do something else major, like a Q&A or something, I'll bring her out and see if people want to meet her. But it would be in that case. I'm not gonna like bring her onto the show if I don't have to, because she's at her screaming phase right now, which means she'll just wreck mics. She'll wreck our mics, and therefore we're screwed for the rest of the video, because now the mics are going to be tracking a higher register than it should be. So yeah, at some point maybe we'll bring her in. I actually have been asked if I'm going to be doing anything with BlizzCon this year. I haven't figured that out yet, because I don't know if I want to do the broadcasting of the live of the opening ceremony again, since Blizzard had me take down the video. And I don't want to have a bad relationship with Blizzard, especially if I want to cover their games. So I thought about maybe doing like an expectation Q&A, like an hour before the opening ceremony starts. Maybe something like that. We'll figure that out as we go. I'm obviously going to do the BlizzCon coverage, because I did that last year, and I had no problem doing that. But as far as like showing the opening ceremony live, probably not. Maybe we'll just go into what we expect happening at the opening ceremony, and then we'll cut off there and let people watch, because it is available. People, like, I know a lot of people are going to be disappointed by this because, you know, how else are they going to watch their video? You can watch it. It's available on BlizzCon.com to be able to watch the opening ceremony, and then it cuts into virtual ticket holders content. So you can at least watch the opening ceremony and be okay with that. And that's basically what I did. Like, I mentioned that I was a virtual ticket holder, and people were asking, okay, are you going to show that content? Nope. Nope, that's not how that works. But I was basically doing what anybody can do online. I mean, I still have friends and family that check it out live while they're at their workstation. They literally, like, because I know a lot of programmers, and programmers will just sit there and they'll literally rig it so that if they've got a new line of or a new thing of code that they need to go process, they'll do that, and then they'll go watch the opening ceremony while it's processing. And that way they can be excited about it and all that fun stuff, because that happens. Oh no, tech laser! This is not very realistic to a fantasy RPG. This is not really a fantasy RPG. I have gotten that comment here and there. It's like, well, this thing started off in fantasy and then there's tech. No, it started off with tech. I know a lot of people have made the distinction that this is a steampunk RPG. I don't know if I necessarily would agree, or something along the lines of steampunk, where it's like 1920s, 1930s technology. I don't know if I would agree with that, because in some cases you have way more advanced than that. I mean, for crying out loud, you had airships. That's why I don't necessarily define Final Fantasy VI's tech. Mainly because a lot of that tech has already existed in Final Fantasy games before. Airships have existed since then. The only thing that's new here is Magitek armor and, you know, the more tech setting of some areas like Vector. But even then, I mean, 4 did it first. 4 had a lot of tech. 4 had spaceships, for crying out loud. You went to the moon. I'm trying to think if 5 had anything like that. No, I think 5 was okay. 5 had, like, ancient technology. Something that you'd see out of, like, Castle in the Sky or something like that. But, no, 4 had tech before 6 did. And that was future tech. That was like going straight fantasy, and then all of a sudden, boom, future tech. Oh, kill these guys. Auto crossbow! Dispatch. Can we just kill these guys, please? Thank you. And there we go. Yay! Now, another question that I did occasionally get is Final Fantasy games that I don't want, or Final Fantasy extended games that I don't want to bring to this. I don't want to bring 12. Does that work? No, we're gonna bring 12. I'll probably just wait until it hits the PS4 version hits, because I'm getting close. I mean, I'm recording 6 now, and I'm usually 2 games ahead when I'm prepping things for these recordings. So I'm right now in 8. So yeah, by then the PS4 version of 12 should be out, and we'll do that. World of Final Fantasy I will definitely consider. If people want it, then it'll probably happen. The only thing I'm not sure about, and I know I said I would do it, but I'm unsure of the timing and things like that, would be the expanded games. So Final Fantasy IV After Years, all of the 7 games, what will make it in and what won't. 10-2, not sure. The MMOs, obviously, I'm not sure how that's going to work. We're going to make it work. I was actually able to confirm that, yes, you can still play 11. You just don't have much of a community there anymore. And 14 is obviously doing well, so we'll probably cover those too. And yes, to all the people who are screaming, are you going to cover other MMOs? Yes, I will. I'm just not going to promise that's going to be in a quick and efficient manner, okay? So don't jump down my throat. I will get to as many MMOs as I can, as long as I think there's interest there. And with that, we've officially looped around in circles in this place. That's okay, because this is actually where we're supposed to go, now that we've got all the chests. But that's going to go ahead and do it for this week. So when we get back, we will continue on in the Magitek Research Facility.